my back blown out in peace. You think I got time to talk about a divorce that's a year old?
You would think that Teyana Taylor would finally find peace with a man who treats her fairly after everything she's been through. Little security and a new start for her and her kid, but just when it looked like everything was finally going her way, the unexpected person showed up. She's not just upset about Pierre, she's on a mission, and what she's saying about him has the power to completely upend everything. It began with a single post, a mysterious tweet from a private account, with no name or images, just words that cut through the timeline like a knife. He used me for years, and now he's using her, and you guys are too blind to notice it. People began making connections, and soon blogs were ablaze with rumors that Aaron's long-term ex-partner, whom he had never discussed in public, had finally spoken out. They had a real history together. She had been there when he was still trying hard for auditions, barely receiving callbacks, and bouncing between roles that never made the final cut. She had paid rent when his acting money didn't arrive, when no one knew his name, when red carpets were only fantasies, and when scripts sat unopened on kitchen tables. She wasn't just his girlfriend, she was his first love, and now she's the one he left behind. For months, Teyana Taylor remained silent, perhaps out of pain or out of decency. But when she saw Aaron holding Teyana's daughter in public while playing stepdad for the cameras, she couldn't hold back any longer because, in her opinion, what the world perceives as the loving father figure and sweet, supportive boyfriend is actually a carefully staged lie. In a voice note leaked to a blog, she didn't hold back, and you could hear the tremble in her voice. Part heartbreak, part rage, she said. Tay's just a tool to him. She doesn't even know the real Aaron, the one who lies, the one who manipulates, the one who told me he wasn't ready for kids, then turns around and plays daddy on Instagram. That clip alone sent shockwaves through social media, and before anyone could even confirm its source, fans were already taking sides. Her next claim that Aaron was strategic and that everything he does is planned, that he doesn't fall in love, but instead attaches himself to powerful women, uses them to level up, and then moves on once he gets what he needs, caused a stir. Some called her bitter, while others said she was finally speaking the truth, which everyone was too afraid to acknowledge. She added, Tay is just the latest move in a long game he's been playing for years. He once told her bluntly, in this industry, it's not about talent, it's about who you're seen with, she claims. The charge was devastating since it called into doubt not only Aaron's commitment but also his whole. It was the kind of assertion that makes you reevaluate every public moment. Was the love he offered Teyana genuine or only a well-staged performance? Was he genuinely constructing a future with her and Junie? Or was he merely using her notoriety to further his own? Was the stepdad's hand-holding gestures on the red carpet and his presence at Teyana's side during the drama of her divorce sincere or premeditated? Teyana initially remained silent, which only served to increase speculation, but according to people close to her, she was shaken that she didn't anticipate that someone would have to physically prevent her from calling Aaron's ex directly because she was prepared to demand answers from woman to woman and needed to know if any of it was true. Meanwhile, the internet was consuming every moment of the drama in private. Talkers displayed previous interviews. Aaron discussed the value of timing in relationships in one of the unearthed clips. According to several people, he was implying that he will switch from his ex to Teyana at the ideal time. People who claim to have personally known the ex posted comments like, she's not lying, we've known about Aaron's two-faced behavior for years, as Reddit threads erupted with hypotheses. Then came the second blow. Screenshots purportedly from Aaron's ex showed old texts in one message where he wrote, "You're everything I need, but this other path might be bigger for both of us, don't hate me for choosing my future." Others defended him, arguing that perhaps she was just upset and lashing out. Another said, "You'll understand one day I have to do what's best for my career." Critics claim that the communications were out of date and could have been falsified, but the harm had already been done. People began to think that perhaps this wasn't a straightforward love tale, and that Aaron might have fallen for Teyana more out of ambition than affection. What's even scarier is that Teyana might have genuinely thought this was her safe haven after everything with Iman. After years of love that turned cold, heartbreak behind the scenes, and a divorce that took its toll, she found someone who seemed content, someone who didn't bring baggage, who said the right things, and who seemed to love her and her daughter as well. Now friends say she cried for days over the rumors and the worry that her daughter was once again caught in the middle of grown-up chaos. Junie had already been through a lot with the Iman split, and now she's hearing that maybe the whole thing was a front. Almost as planned, Aaron's PR team arrived with a chilly, flawlessly prepared statement that was sent to inboxes across gossip websites and news outlets after he remained silent for a while. Too quiet, the kind of stillness that leaves people wondering what you're hiding. One source close to Aaron, Pierre's inner circle, whispered to a blogger, "Aaron's panicking. He never thought this would come out. He underestimated how much she was holding back." Aaron Pierre refutes all claims of manipulation and exploitation, remains focused on his relationship, and wishes for peace for all parties involved. But that wasn't enough because behind the scenes, people were speaking quietly and privately, and not in Aaron's favor. Teyana, meantime, was withdrawing. She and Junie were the only ones staying, with no parties, ostentatious posts, or love selfies. When a close friend asked her how she was doing, she simply said, "I feel played." She was also not returning calls from common acquaintances. She allowed this man into her home, into her life, into her child's life, and now she didn't know what was real anymore. Had he ever loved her, or had he just been using her to climb the ladder? Only when people thought the situation couldn't possibly get messier, when the dust seemed to finally settle, it exploded all over again. I feel foolish that this was the heartbreak behind her silence, not just betrayal, but shame. Another shocking revelation was made, this time in the form of an old voice memo that an ex-partner had released. Aaron himself was featured on the audio. The sound quality was rough, as if it had been taken from a secret archive or a forgotten phone, but the voice was unmistakably his. "I need someone who opens doors, someone who levels me up. I don't have time for emotions anymore." The video became viral in a matter of hours, and timelines were inundated with comments on social media. What started out as suspicions turned into a loud outcry from the entire population. Overnight, the story changed from being about heartbreak or a messy custody battle to becoming about a pattern. A man who seemed to view relationships as stepping stones. A man who measured women not by who they were, but by what they could do. For him, strategically calculated cold. And suddenly Teyana found herself in the center of attention. Instead of posting a polished statement, PR, team-crafted words, or grand declarations, she went live late at night without warning, and the screen lit up to reveal her sitting on the floor with a tight-fitting hoodie, no makeup, and no filters. Simply unadulterated vulnerability. She spoke in a weak voice. Her eyes were tired. "Have you ever been so mistaken about someone?" Gently stated, "that you feel like you lost a part of yourself?" She didn't mention Aaron's name. She didn't need to. The pain in her voice said everything. The statement that stopped viewers cold was, "I let someone into my child's life thinking he'd protect her, but it turned out that he was only defending his own reputation." With those words, the illusion was destroyed. No trending subject, gossip website, or viral video could adequately convey the essence of that moment. For fans who had watched Teyana endure so many hardships, from Iman's betrayal to ongoing public scrutiny, this moment felt like the last straw. It wasn't just heartbreak, it was exhaustion, disbelief, a quiet kind of destruction. And Aaron responded in the most tone-deaf way possible with a smug selfie captioned, "Let truth speak louder." Then noise. A mother dealing with betrayal and the cost of trusting the wrong person. A warning, a confession, a breaking point. And the world listened in silence. She didn't cry on camera, but the anguish was evident in her voice. Every pause, crack in, her tone and every pause spoke louder than tears ever could. Just a deflection with no context or clarification. The comment immediately caused the post to fail. Section became a battleground, and fans and even impartial onlookers demanded answers from him. Some pleaded for accountability, while others simply wanted a sign that he cared. However, Aaron went silent with no explanation or remorse. Others just wanted a sign that he cared. Now everything is hanging in the balance. This isn't just tabloid drama, though. It's a story about what happens when lies catch up, when love turns into regret, and when the truth finally breaks through. The noise because when a woman who once stood up for you begins to speak up, she exposes a side of you. The world wasn't meant to see people pay attention, and every move matters. every silence. Aaron's next action will not only shape his reputation, but it may define it because once the mask comes off, it cannot be taken back. Every post and every mistake carries a consequence. This is about character now, not just image.